Hello everybody, Litter for Life here, and I meant to do this a few days ago, but I kept getting too busy too. So, we know a lot of stuff about Breakers of Shadow. I think it's actually out in Japan now. Either that or they had their sneak peek. I'm not entirely sure on that. So, I'm just going to go over the new cards and stuff and kind of give my opinions on it. I actually ended up thinking about just not doing it since I'm so late on all this, but I don't really care because there's a lot of cool stuff in here that I'm really excited for. So we now know that Monkey Board's a common. I don't remember what he did, but yeah, I have no idea what he did. I can't remember, but I think it was something relatively good. I cannot remember, so I'm going to like recheck that later. So we are getting two more desk bots, which I'm actually surprised about. I thought that they were pretty much done, but hey, whatever. And there are more pendulums too. And this one looks like it's a female. It's got like braids or something. And then this guy, he looks like a different version of one of the other desk bots. But anyway, so 007. I really wish they would have had some fun with that and made him look like James Bond. Just saying. So you cannot pendulum summon. It's for despot monsters. That effect cannot be negated. He's a level 7 with 500 attack and 500 defense, which may not seem like much, but however, oh boy, this deck. Monster effect. This card gains 500 attack for each despot card in your graveyard, which late game can get to incredible amounts. Other despot monsters you control cannot be targeted for an attack, so if you have two of these guys out, your opponent basically cannot attack any of them. And if he attacks a defense possessed monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. Then Despot 008. Same pendulum effect, same attack and defense, but it's level 8 instead of level 7. Monster effect. This card gains 500 attack for each despot card in your graveyard. Same effect right there. Other despot monsters you control cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. So this is really, really good. And then I believe it also... this card can make a second attack against a monster. So that is really, really good. And despots are going to be a very scary archetype once they get everything that they need. So yeah, I already hate going against them because again, they can just OTK out of nowhere, but all this stuff, these new cards will definitely help out them a lot. Then we got some new Draco Slayers, which I am really, really excited for. I don't know if I'm going to play this guy over here in my Ignites, but this guy definitely I'm playing in my Ignites. Okay, so this is the Draco Slayer Master Pendulum, Master Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. Really, really cool. He is a normal monster of 1950 attack. I actually might try and squeeze him into my Ignite system because he's a normal monster and Heart of the Underdog for win. So he's a pendulum scale of 3, which is really good. So him with the other Draco Slayer main deck monster, I'm pretty sure there's only 2. That means you could pendulum summon for 5s, no 4s, which is really good. I do wish that was a bit larger of a scale, but hey, whatever. By large, I mean scale difference, so like a 2, so you can also get out 3s and stuff. But hey, whatever. So his pendulum effect is, well, you can target one card into the player's pendulum zone, destroy it. You can only use this effect once while this card is in the pendulum zone. It's not bad, but it's also not all that great either. Now, what is really going to be useful with this is that like you can set him, use his effect, pop your opponent's pendulum scale, activate like the other Luster Pendulum, and then use his effect, pop this guy, search out another copy of him, activate him again, and then do it again. So that is one way that you can get rid of your opponent's pendulum skills and still be able to pendulum summon for yourself. And I really hope that Draco Slayers get more stuff because just having 2 main deck monsters is kind of sad. However, they are technically supposed to be support for the other pendulum archetypes. So this is going to be interesting for sure. So the flavor text, which they did not have last time I looked at this, is Master Pendulum, the Draco Slayer. After having gained power from his comrades, he seems to have manifested draconic powers similar to mysterious hexes from the clan of the Draco Roar, but he has lost all memories of who he was before he came to the Draco Slayer. What? That's sad. So the truth is unknown. Believing the secret art of draconization is the key to breaking his curse and unlocking his memories, he continues his journeys fighting the evils of the Draco Roar wherever he finds them. I think the Draco Roar is an OCG exclusive, wasn't he? I don't know. So it's going to be interesting, and I cannot wait to see if we're going to get more Draco Roars, especially considering that the class of the Draco rivals says summon any Draco Roar and any Draco Slayer. So this all mini archetype and sub story is so incredibly interesting to me. And then we got this guy. It's basically a mech. No. It's this guy in a freaking Hulkbuster armor. Oh my god. So 2000 attack, 2950 defense. I kind of wish that those were swapped. But however, putting him in defense and just sitting on him and not having to worry about him getting Mirror Force or something is really nice. Also, honestly, looking at the artwork, he does look like he'd be more of a defender than an attacker. So this is either Dinoster or Dinoster, powerful to powerful Draco Slayer. So this is supposed to be Luster Pendulum fusing with one of the Dinomus, which is understandable because the Xyz was the Draco Slayer fusing with the, overlaying, I guess, really, with Unicorn, I think it was, which is ironic because you can't use Magispector Unicorn to go into that thing, because it's a rank 4 and Unicorn's a 5. And then with Ignites, he synchroed with them into Ignis or Prominence. So this is very interesting at all. This is completely interesting to me. So Dinoster to powerful. Dinoster powerful to powerful Draco Slayer. Was powerful really necessary twice? He's a level 8 Water Dragon Fusion, 2000 attack, 2950 defense, 1 Draco Slayer Pendulum monster plus any Pendulum monster. Must first be special summoned from your deck, attributing the above cards you control. You do not use power resistance. I like it how if he does get destroyed or something, you can just bring him back. You don't have to. It's not like what is it called, a Nami? So that is nice. Then pendulum cards in your monster zone and pendulum zones cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effects. This is incredibly nice. I can already see that this could be really useful in Ignites, or heck, any Pendulum deck really, because then your opponent cannot destroy your Pendulum zones with like Wavering Eyes or MST, stuff like that. I'm mainly using Ignites as an example because that's the main Pendulum deck I play. And then once per turn you can special summon a Draco Slayer Pendulum monster from your hand or graveyard, but it cannot be used as a fusion material. I like this as well because now going into an Xyz with one of the Draco Slayers is not that bad of a problem, and it's not a problem at all, and if it gets discarded or anything, you don't really care because, oh hey, you can just bring it back. I kind of find it how it's redundant that you can just special summon it from your hand, but hey, whatever, you can summon it from your grave. I do wish you could summon it from your extra deck though, because there are times where you'll pendulum summon and then, oh hey, you want to get more summons going. But I guess the same could be said for your hand. And then we get to the meat of the stuff. So this is basically all the other leaks. I don't know if I'll go over everything, but I might say screw it and do it. So, Twin Twister. Quick play spell card, discard 1 card, and target up to 2 spell trap cards on the field, destroy them. I really like this card. I don't think it will completely replace MST. I talked with this one with one of my friends, and he's like, it's a good card, it's just the discarding is going to turn away some people from it. And I do see that. And honestly, I think this card is going to be really good. I might test it out. It really depends on like what deck you're playing. But however, if you're playing a deck that really gets hurt by back row and doesn't really care if it discards, this is going to be really useful. Also, if you look at the card art, you can see the magical hats. This is like the Ancient Telescope or something like that. I remember having it as a kid. Scapegoat tokens, Monster Born Ankh, and I don't remember what card this is over here, but basically everything over here is a spell trap card, which is really cool. So yeah, Solemn Scolding, or sorry, Notice is going to be a super rare, which means it's probably going to be a secret over here. Dust Force or Sandstorm Warrior Force. Oh my god, I can't wait to see what Wind Force is going to do. So, when an opponent's monster acquires an attack, change as many attack positions and monsters your opponent controls as possible to face down defense position, and if you do, discard the ones changed by this effect cannot change their battle positions. So, Ghost Tricks, anybody? Was my first thought reading this. This card is going to be relatively good, but whereas Firestorm Mirror Force some decks would play, and Mirror Force decks, it used to be a staple, now it's not, but whereas the other versions of Mirror Force, Air Force, oh yeah, that's right, that is Wind Force. I'm an idiot. So then Water Force, I guess, would be the next one. But however, anyways, as I was saying, unlike the other Mirror Forces, where I could totally see just about any deck really just splashing it in for the heck of it, I don't know about this one. Only because, well, it's always nice to be able to beat over your opponent's monsters, and of course they can't just flip them over and then go in an Xyz or Synchro with them. So It is a nice card. I personally would probably end up playing it, especially if it's not expensive. The only reason why I don't play Air Force is because it's too freaking expensive. So this card, I could see some play with, especially if you're playing Ghost Tricks. This card is going to be your best friend. So we are actually getting Performapal Big Bite Turtle. I don't think that was already announced, or is this the effect down here? Okay, I guess it already was announced. But we are getting Q, which I think is this guy right here. When he is normal summon, he can specimen a level 4 or lower super heavy from your hand and change him to defense position. And your opponent cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. This is really nice. Good God, super heavy samurais are getting really tight for space because a lot of their monsters are really, really freaking good, and I really like them. And this guy really helps out with the XCs, the synchro part, and also just for setting up for summoning out Big Ben K if you really have to normal summon him. Also, I know they didn't put their stats here, his stats here, but it looks like he has 900 attack and 1900 defense. That's not that bad. So then we also have Liberating Ariadne. This thing is scary, and honestly, Counter Fairies could possibly become a stupidly good deck again. Or in the first place, I don't know if they were ever a thing, really. So it's a level 4 Light Fairy of 1700 attack and 800 defense. His pendulum effect is as long as this card remains face up in the pendulum zone, apply the following effects. You do not have to pay life points to activate a counter trap, and you do not have to discard cards from your hand to activate a counter trap. His monster effect is if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can reveal 3 counter trap cards from your deck. Have your opponent add 1 of them to your hand, also shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So, Jesus Christ. Okay, so Solemn Warning is free. Solemn Notice is free. Solemn Scalding is free. Solemn Judgment's free. You don't have to discard for Divine Wrath. I don't know if there's any other. Oh, yeah. Regeki. Oh, wait, no, is Regeki back? No. That's not a counter trap. So, this is really, really stupid. It just basically makes it to where you don't have to pay life points for your counter traps. And that just, and don't forget, guys, that new Solemn card is coming out in this set, and is also, it is another Solemn. It's just so stupid. Oh my God. And I'm just repeating myself at this point. So, like, I would not be surprised if some people would play this, if they're playing triple of Solemn Notice, and 1 Solemn Warning, and Solemn Judgment if you're an OCG, or if it ever comes back over here. And heck, then you can go say screw it and play Divine Wrath, and it's basically a breakthrough skill, but oh hey, your opponent's monster also dies. So I would not be surprised if you see like Performapal, Performa Magicians, or whatever you want to call them, that rare mishmash of pendulum monsters. If I would not be surprised if they play it. And this thing's a level 4 too, which is really stupid. It's got nice stats also. So this thing, I would not be surprised if people start playing it, especially if they're maxing out on Solemn Notices and the other Solemn cards. False Accusations really ain't all that good, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip it. Wait, what does it do again? Yeah, it's not all that great. The Froggy, yay, more Magispectors. I don't like Magispectors. So Magispector Frog. Level 4 Psychic, no, sorry, Spellcaster Wind. Level 4 Pendulum skill of 5, 1300 attack, 500 defense. One thing that's always bothered me about Magispectors, I'm going to go ahead and say this now, is the fact that they cannot sell pendulums on their boss monster, Unicorn, which I don't know if anybody actually plays Unicorn, but he is very, very annoying. You can only use the first effect of Magispector Frog once per turn. When this card is normal or special summon, you can set 1 Magispector spell or trap card from your deck onto your side of the field, but it cannot be activated this turn. That is really stupid. Just getting to search out any of the Magispector spell or traps and setting it onto your side of the field is really stupid. And obviously, you're not going to set any of their normal spells, but you're going to be setting their quick play spells and their trap cards with this. This is just really annoying. And of course, it has a typical Magispector text saying that you cannot target it or destroy it by card effects, which is, again, very annoying. Pendulum Reborn, special summon 1 face-up Pendulum monster from your extra deck or from your graveyard. I like this card. It's really cool, and also that artwork is beautiful. I just wish there wasn't that massive glare right there. Okay, so we have Pendulum Reborn, we have Xyz Reborn. Are we going to get a Synchro Reborn and a Ritual Reborn and a Fusion Reborn? Because that would be awesome. I like this card a lot. This card's funny. It's basically a what was it called? Burden of the Mighty, but also for Xyz and any monster really. All monsters lose 300 attack and defense for each level or rank they have. So this thing, it's a level 3. Oh wow, that's a tuner too. I didn't notice that. It's a level 3, so it loses 900 attack right away. So it drops down to what, 500? It's not all that great. I mean, if it was a spell card or something, it'd be a lot better. Like just Burden of Mighty, but with the added text saying that it also affects ranks. It looks like Goyo King, if I remember right, is a rare. And then we have Forbidden Tome, not the same as the Forbidden one. Declare one card type, Fuse and Synchro Xyz. If there are 2 or more face-up monsters on the field of the declared type, send all monsters of that type to players control to the graveyard. So, depending on how, like, what this part right here is, like if both players must control a monster of that type, it's not all that great. But however, if it's like, if there's just flat out 2 or more of those types out on the field, I can see this being a really good side deck card. Because, like, let's say you're playing a synchro-oriented deck like Synchrons, and you're doing against, I don't know, Shaddolls. Okay, flip this up, call fusions, send all their fusions to the graveyard. Granted, they will get their effects, but however, you don't have to worry about those fusions anymore, which could also get rid of a window, which is annoying as heck. So, yeah, this card, depending on what this is, like if both players have to control a monster of that type or not, depends on how good it is. If both players do not have to control that type, then it's going to be good. If it's where both players must control that type, it's not all that great. So then we see here Buster Pendulum turning into Hulkbuster and good old Dynamis Veteran. Alrighty, so level 4, Pendulum scale of 3, 1800 attack, 1200 defense. Effect: if a Dynamist card or cards you control except this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can destroy this card instead. That's his Pendulum effect. And pretty good, and he's got decent stats too, by the way. Monster effect: when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you can add 1 Dynamist card from your deck to your hand. I like this. I kind of don't like it how their Searcher is the weakest one. Or at least to my knowledge, he's the weakest one. I think they might have somebody weaker than him. But it's a nice card. It's a really nice card, and it's good that they have a Searcher too, because if they didn't have a Searcher, then it'd be kind of annoying. Also, again, he does have decent stats. Those are pretty good stats for level 4. I actually really do want to try out Dynamist. It seems like a pretty fun deck. And then Dynamic Overload, Power Load. Field spell card. All Dynamist monsters you on the field gain 300 attack and defense. That's not that bad, and it also means that Pateran can attack over more stuff. When a Dynamist monster control battles, the opponent cannot activate effects until the end of the damage step. So not only does it give all of the Dynamists 300 attack and defense, but however, also they all become freaking Ancient Gears. Your opponent can't activate anything in response to their attacks, which is really, really, really good. Sorry, for their battles. So, like, if you attack into a Magician of Faith, they can't use her effect, which is still really, really good. And I can see this being played in Dynamis. Then again, I get kind of called out for playing Ignite's Field Spell. Well, anyway, whatever. Okay, so Super Heavy Beast Kyuubi. I am so happy we're getting this thing because, oh my god, I am just really happy. I'm a big fan of Super Heavy Samurais, and I want them to be good. And they are good, don't get me wrong, but however, oh man, they need everything that they can get, because Monster Mash as an archetype, oh, it's a good idea. It's got to be done right to be really good. So, and I think, honestly, they've been doing a pretty good job with it so far. So, Kyuubi, level 9, don't know the attack, I'm guessing 500. It really is irrelevant for Super Heavy Samurais. And 2500 defense, he's an Earth Synchro effect. 1 tuner plus 1 or more non-tuner Super Heavy Samurai monsters. Super Heavy monsters. That is really nice that it's just 1 or more, not like 2 or more or something like most level 9 or higher Synchros are. He's always treated as a Super Heavy Samurai card, which is good. This card can attack while in face-up defense position, and if it does, apply its defense for damage calculation. And if you have no spell or trap cards in your graveyard, this card gains 800 attack defense for each monster your opponent controls, which is again really, really good. And as per usual with the super heavy samurai thing is they don't like having spells and traps in their graveyard or at all. And so really good. And oh god, super heavies are going to be so tight for space by the end of their support and everything. So then we get Goyo Defender, and since we are getting this thing, I actually really do kind of want to try and make a Goyo deck. So, once per turn, sorry, I guess I should go over his stats. He's a level 3 Earth Warrior with 1,000 attack and 1,000 defense. One tuner plus one or more non-tuners, which is kind of funny because it says one or more and he's a level 3, which isn't going to be too hard to do. Once per turn, if the only monsters you control are Earth, Warrior, Synchro type monsters, minimum of 1, you can spell summon one Goyo Defender from your extra deck. When this card is targeted for an attack, you can activate this effect until the end of the damage step. This card gains 1,000 attack for each other Warrior, Synchro type monster you control. So, you summon this guy through the normal ways, so easiest way I could think of off the top of my head is a level 1 plus a level 2, which there aren't many decks that can do that, but hey, whatever. So I think Jute Fighter is a level 2. So Jute Fighter plus, I don't know, Level Eater. There you go. Equals this thing. And once you have him out on the field, you can just summon another one. And then that one can summon another one. So you can have 3 Goyo Defenders from your extra deck right then and there. And if your opponent attacks any of them, they jump up to 4K. Sorry, 3K, not 4K. That'd be awesome though. But however, yeah, if you have another like Goyo out, then yeah, it becomes 4K. So this card is really, really good, and I think it really does tie together the Goyo deck all together. Don't know how easy or hard he is going to be to summon though. That's the one thing. So can't wait to try out Goyos as an archetype now, which will be interesting and fun. So, Stegosaur. See, I did have a feeling that they had a weaker monster. Dynamis Stegosaur. Level 4, Pendulum scale of 3. Pendulum effect of a Dynamis card or cards you control, except this card would be destroyed by battle or card effect. You can destroy this card instead. When another Pendulum monster you control battles your opponent's monster, after damage calculation, destroy both battling monsters. That is not optional. That is mandatory. That is not all that great. Honestly, it's not really all that great. And, well, okay, yeah, I can see how it can be good in some points, okay? Your opponent has a Mars Ballon attack, okay, effect, nuke both. And also, of course, since your monsters are pendulums, they go back to your extra deck. But generally speaking, you don't want your monsters to die, even if they are pendulums, unless, because, well, you lose monsters onto your field, and then your opponent can just OTK you next turn easier. Granted, though, I can see how this will be good in certain situations, and of course, since he's a level 4, you're going to be playing him anyways. Looks like we have an alternate rare version of that dude over there. Dark Doriado, which is completely out of nowhere, which I think is cool. All Earth, Wind, Water, and Fire monsters you control gain 200 attack and defense for each different monster attribute you control. So summon Doriado, or what's your name? Yeah, I think it is Doriado. The level 4 ritual that's counted as all of these. All of these. Not to mention she's a light base, if I remember right. So yeah, 5 types, well 5 attributes, and so yeah, that should stack up on the attack points if I'm doing that right. If it is normal or special summon, you can target 1 Earth, Wind, Water, and Fire in your graveyard. Return them to the top of the deck in any order. So, yeah, the only time this would ever be good ever is summoning out, is if you're playing it in like old school Dragon Roars or something. I can't think of any deck that like really has one of each of the attributes in it. I really can't think of any right off the top of my head. I'm sure if I had more, like if I had like a few minutes, I could probably think of one. But yeah, Earth, Wind, Fire, and Water. One of those 4 different types, and it's got to be each. That's just, it's not all that great. But hey, she's got 1,800 attack, and she's a level 4. That's not that bad. And a Pendulum scale 5. Performance power, Rain Goat. Basically, when a card or effect whose effect would inflict damage to you is activated, you can discard this card. You take no damage from that effect. Really nice. And then basically, you can protect one of your Performance Power or Odd Eyes cards. So yeah. You can. So yeah, it has 2 different effects, and it's really nice how it works and everything. Pendulum Storm spell, destroy all cards in both players' pendulum zones, then you can destroy 1 spell trap card. your opponent controls. What's really nice is that you can just put a card in your pendulum zone, activate this, nuke it, and then pop a spell or trap card. Or if your opponent has pendulum zones, activate this, nuke them, pop a spell or trap card. It's not a bad card. I do feel like it would be a lot better if it was a quick play. But however, just as it is now, it's not that bad. And you can make your opponent potentially go -3. Well, no, -2. I don't know. I'm bad at math. So yeah, pop their skills, nuke a back row. It doesn't really matter that I mean, it would be a lot better if it was a quick play, but just as it is now, it's not that bad. Another Magic spell, Magic Spectre Sonic. Target one Magic Spectre monster you control. Till the end of the turn, double that monster's attack and defense, but any damage it inflicts to your opponent is halved. That's not that bad. I know Magic Spectres are not too battle-oriented. They're more focused on just picking off your opponent's monsters of spell and trap cards. But hey, that's not that bad. Get it, pump up one of your monsters. It becomes, like, you target Frog, if I remember right, he has 1300 attack, so he becomes a 2600 beat stick. Not that bad. This thing is cool. If nothing else, just for the artwork. So he's a water rank 8 machine, which is interesting. 2 level 8 monsters. Each effect of Makaisho Aigayon can only be activated once per turn. So yeah, Magical Sea Castle Aigayon during your first turn. So you banish one random face-down monster from your opponent's extra deck. Then this monster's attack becomes a banished monster's attack. That's not that bad, but it's also really risky. I mean, let's say you banish Rhapsody and Berserk. Oh, hey, he has 0 attack now. So you really want to hit something like Beals or something in your opponent's extra deck. So you can also detach one Xyz material from this card and target one of your opponent's banished fusion, synchro, or Xyz monsters. Return it to the extra deck, and if you do, destroy one monster of the same type, card type that your opponent controls. That effect, I don't really know how much I really like. I mean, granted though, you can't target one of the monsters that he himself banished because it's face down. You can't tell what it is. So I don't really know how you're supposed. I guess you're supposed to like look at its attack points before it gets banished. That being said, though, the fact that you don't have to detach for this effect right here, but you do have to detach for this effect, is not that bad. So you can just, if anything, like let's say your opponent's playing like a really extract-oriented deck, and you're playing like, I don't know, Gimmick Puppet or something, go in this thing, put it in defense, and then each turn, just banish a monster from your opponent's extra deck. And you can do it during your first turn. So do it during your turn, banish a monster from your opponent's extra deck, their opponent's turn, do it again. Oh, hey, look at that. They have 2 less cards in your extra deck, and you can just keep repeating that over and over. Before you know it, your opponent won't have an extra deck anymore. But this is not that bad. It's just a matter of what decks you're going to play it in. And then Surinui style Reincarnation Formation. Love that name. Field spell. You can only activate one Surinui style Reincarnation Formation. Per turn, once per turn, if you control no monsters, you can send one card from your hand to the graveyard, activate one of the following effects. Target one zombie type monster of 0 defense in your graveyard, special summon it. Not that bad, a lot of zombies have no defense. Or target one of your zombie type monsters with 0 defense, return it to graveyard. Not that bad of a card. I can't wait to test this out in Surinui. And if you guys don't remember, I did postpone my Surinui deck profile because all the new cards that were getting announced. So yeah, sorry about that, guys. I'm going to skip the burn card. Good Turtle, which I'm going to talk about only because I love Perform Piles and this thing's adorable. So, level 1, which is sad because level 1 Pendulum monsters are kind of pointless. You can't Pendulum summon them back unless we get a scale of 0 or something like that. So, Pendulum scale of 6, 300 attack, 400 defense. Pendulum effect. If a Pendulum, if a Performer Pile card is activated in your other Pendulum zone, you can draw 1 card. Not that bad, okay? Especially if you activate the Lizard Draw. Okay, activate him, draw 1 card. Lizard Draw effect, destroy, draw 1 more card. Oh, hey, look at that. I got to draw 2 cards. Not that bad. Sad thing is they have the same scale, but hey, whatever. You're not going to have them both at the scale. And then monster effect. Once per turn, you can target 1 card in your Pendulum zone. Its skill is increased by 2 until the end of the turn. That's not that bad either. It's kind of an interesting card. I actually like this guy a lot. Then Trump girl, she's basically Trump Witch, but kind of dumbed down. Then we got another Twilight Ninja. So, when this card is always treated as a ninja card. He's a level 6, 2300 attack. Once per turn, during your first turn, you can discard a ninja monster, activate one of the following effects. Ninja monsters and ninjutsu art cards you control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects on this turn. Choose one ninja monster you control, gains a 1,000 attack until the end of the turn. This guy's not that bad. I don't know how much he's going to help out ninjas, or any of the Twilight Ninja cards for that matter, but I do like him. Not bad at all. Can protect your ninjas and your ninjutsu arts, and if you summon him and your opponent activates Bottomless, just discard a ninja and he saves himself, which is interesting. Well, not interesting, but pretty cool. In Performance Band Hurricane, which I think is supposed to be a reference to how a lot of the newer Performance Pals are basically like band items, because this is a Performance Pal card. You can activate one performance. You can only activate one of it per turn. Target a number of cards your opponent controls up to the number of Performance Pal monsters you control. Return it to the hand. Not that bad of a card. Don't know how many I would play in my Performance Pals though. Dynamis Plesiosaurus. I swear, whenever I saw this, I thought, whoa, what the heck is this thing? And I've noticed something about a lot of the Dynamis is that they're followed by a trail of black smoke behind them, which is, I can't help but feel like that's kind of something making fun of how industrial everything is now. So, level 4, 1700 attack, scale of 6, not that bad. Before resolving a card effect that targets another Dynamis you control, you can negate that effect and then destroy this card. This effect can only be used once while this card is in the Pendulum Zone. I don't even know why they put this here, so I guess it's just so you can't activate 2 of them or something. Let's see here. Monster effect. Monsters your opponent controls lose 100 attack and defense for each Dynamis card you control. That is not that bad, and that actually lets Patera attack over more things, so you can search more stuff, which is awesome. So then we got Surinui no Monofu. And by the way, let me just say this guy is awesome. He's got a fire sword over here and another fire sword over here. Really cool artwork, and this guy just looks like somebody who would be not out of place in Inuyasha. You can only use each effect of Surinui no Mononofu once per turn. During either person's turn, you can banish one zombie type monster in graveyard. This card gains 600 attack until the end of the turn. And if this card battles with a monster this turn, banish that monster after damage calculation. That's not that bad. So it pumps up to 24, and then after damage calculation, that monster gets banished until you go in the graveyard. So then, like, let's say you attack over fire or ice sand, you don't have to worry about it activating its effect. If this card is banished, you can target one Surinui monster in your graveyard, accept himself, add it to your hand. Not that bad. High speed re-level, let me just say, I find it funny how we have a, I think that's one of the Peace Golems over there, and we have a Ghost Trick card over there, and then we got Tridice over here just because why not? Banish one Speedward monster from your graveyard and target a Synchro monster you control. Until the end of the turn, its level becomes the monster's level, and it gains attack equal to that banished monster's level times 500. This isn't that bad. I'd probably just play 1 or 2 of it because really all you're going to use this for is more synchro plays, which is of course always good, and for pumping up Chambara even more, because why not, you know, just pump up Chambara some more. And another thing I do want to state is that this could also help going into Quasar, because that, of course, can like make a level 5 Chambara into a level 3 or something, and then, oh hey, that you can go on with Quasar easier or something. And then we have this dude, Seal Arbiter. I don't think his effect was actually revealed last time I was looking at this. And the Z Zoro. He's got 2 swords. I can't help but feel like this guy's a reference to something other than just Zoro because of that big Z. So 1800 attack, 1200 defense. Level 4 Dark Spellcaster. Really cool. He looks like he'd be more of a warrior than a spellcaster. When your opponent activates a card effect by declaring 1 card name, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. Declare 1 card name. The card name your opponent declared becomes the card name you declared instead. Once per turn, in your player's turn, you can target 1 face-down monster on the field during the end phase of this on the next turn, destroy it. So this guy is pretty interesting. So let's say your opponent activates Mind Crush. That'll be the main thing that people would use this to counter, and they call, I don't know, Graph of the Burning Abyss. You change it to Dark Magician Girl. Okay, yeah, that was a bad example because Mind Curse would be a terrible, terrible, terrible idea used against Burning Abyss, but the reasoning applies. You know, you use it to protect something in your hand. I mean, the only reason I could think of a Burning Abyss player saving a Graph in their hand from a Mind Curse is if they already used Graph effect that turn. So, and this guy is not that bad. His secondary effect is interesting. The only thing is that you gotta wait practically 2 turns for it, because you target it, and granted, yes, it's over 2 turns. You can do it during your opponent's turn, but it doesn't get destroyed until the following turn's end phase, which it's way too slow. That's the thing. Granted, though, there can be times where that could be really helpful, but it's just way too slow to really have an impact. The only thing I see this guy being used for is if Mind Crush becomes a really big thing in the format, and if, god dang it, what was it called? Cloak and Dagger becomes another big thing. Cloak and Dagger is a card that most people don't know about. It's a continuous trap card. Activate it, call a monster name, and then if your opponent summons that monster, banish both it and that card. Not that bad of a card, and then I think it could also be used for some other cards. Like, god dang it, that Archfiend card, you pay 8 on the life points, call a card name, and then reveal your top card of the deck, and if it is that, you add it to your hand, so it has some uses. I was going to go over these, but we're, actually, wait, that's only 1 card, and then, yeah, that's great, yeah, we can do this. Oh god, we're going to hit 40 minutes here, guys. Alrighty, so Phantom Knight's a silent books. If you control a face-up Phantom Knight's monster, you can spell summon this card from your hand. You can only spell summon him once per turn. You can banish both this card from your you can banish this card from your graveyard. Add 1 the Phantom spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. I really like this guy. Like, I really want to play Phantom Knights. I don't know how good they're going to be or not. I hope they kind of get another Xyz, because I feel like that's just Phantom Knight's a break sword. Wow, he is a really good monster. I don't know how great he is going to be in terms of, like, actually as the boss monster deck. Granted, you could technically consider Dark Rebellion as the boss monster of the deck. And then I don't know why I said out of that, but oh well. Then we have some of the more of the poster cards from earlier. Raid Raptor Necro Vulture. Once per turn, you contribute a Raid Raptor monster to target a rank up spell. Add it to your hand, but you cannot exceed summon it except for a rank up spell card for the rest of this turn, and it's not that bad. I don't know how much this guy's going to get used. I mean, he might just be played in TCG yet because he's another Raid Raptor name, and we don't have very many of the Raid Raptors over here. I mean, we don't have, what was he called, Tribute Lanius, which is really sad. So yeah, depending on if we get this guy before or after Tribute Lanius, depends on if he'll be used over here. But over in OCG, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much people are really playing the rank up spells. I mean, I personally play a few of each of them just about, but not just me. So then we have a Power Ranger. Heck, we have a whole Power Ranger archetype, and I cannot wait for this. So we have Choryushi, Red Layer. We don't know his attack or defense, but he is a level 5. You can only use the second and third effects of him once per turn. If you control no monster, you can special summon him from your hand. So he's a Cyber Dragon, which is pretty good. When this card is normal spell summon, you can target 1 Choryushi card in your hand, add it to, in your graveyard, add it to your hand. And if this card is sent into the graveyard, you can target a Choryu monster in your graveyard, accept himself, special summon it. But I'm going to take a lot of guess here and say that his effect is negated. So it basically helps go into XCs and stuff. We got this guy, Choryu Kishu, Magna Liger. Okay, whenever I see a mechanized Liger, I immediately think of Zoids. But however, these aren't Zoids, they're Zords. He's a rank 5, 2600 attack, 2000 defense, 2 level 5 monsters. This card with no Xyz materials cannot attack, and then once per turn you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, then target 1 monster in the field, destroy it. If this card is Choryusu, Red Layers, and Xyz material, you can also use this effect during your opponent's turn. And then once per turn you can attach 1 Choryusu monster from your hand or your side of the field to this card as Xyz material. Not that bad. And, oh my god, I can't wait to see the rest of this archetype, because of this thing right here. It's a rank 12. It's a freaking Megazord. Oh my god. 3600 attack, 3200 defense. I can't wait to see how we're going to make this thing in this deck. I'm going to have so much fun playing this, and whenever I do, I am going to be playing the Power Rangers theme song while playing it. Okay? So, Choryu Kishinu, Great Magnus, Light Machine, Xyz, effect, rank 12, 3600 attack, 3200 defense. He's 3 level 12 monsters to go into, but I can guarantee you this deck is going to have something to either boost up levels, or it's going to have something to use the Xyz monsters as like Xyz material or something. This card accumulates the following effects based on the number of Xyz materials has attached to it. 2 or more. Once per turn, you can detach 1 Xyz material from this card, shuffle 1 card on the field into the deck. That's really freaking good. 4 or more, this card is unaffected by card effects other than Choryu cards. Not that bad. Actually, really good as well. 5 or more, your opponent cannot add cards from their deck to the hand with a card effect. That is really, really freaking good. And then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can spell summon 3 different Toryuki XC's monsters from your hand, from your graveyard. So if he dies, you can summon out his different parts. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say that this is a shark. We already know that that's a liger, and this is probably gonna be a dolphin. Actually, no, these are wings. I don't know, these would be fins, but either a shark or a dragon, and then either a dolphin. I'm going to take a wild guess and say that's a dolphin. Then we got this, which is basically the... what's from the card art, it reminds me of the scenes in Power Rangers, where you have, like, the Rangers with their Megazords getting ready to do their final attack, so... this is Choryu Kishinken Magnus Slayer. Trap normal. Target one Toru XYZ monster you control. Equip this card to that target. It gains 100 attack at times its rank and inflicts piercing battle damage. If it attacks the defense possesses a monster. So let's just use this guy over here. That's 1200 attack. He becomes a 4000 beat stick with piercing. Yeah, that is really freaking awesome. During your battle phase, you can send this to the graveyard. The monster that was equipped with this gains. It can attack 3 times. Okay, so let's say your opponent has full life points and no monsters, and you have this guy up. Equip him onto this, use its effect. Okay, guess what? Game. Does that be what? Oh, that's over 9,000. That is way over 9,000. And this is really awesome. I can't wait to see the rest of this archetype. I really want to play it. I grew up watching Power Rangers. I love Power Rangers. Heck, I still watch it every now and then on Netflix. Yes, I'm 19 and I watch Power Rangers from time to time. I don't care. Yes, I know this deck is technically based off of Super Sentai or Voltron or something, but it's Power Rangers, okay? Okay, Power Rangers. Super Sentai is the Japanese version of Power Rangers. Or, well, more accurately, Power Rangers is the English version of Super Sentai. But I don't really care. So, guys, tell me what you think about all this new stuff. If you even made it this far. If you did, congrats on you. You watched a 42-minute long video. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Peace out. Sorry about the long video. But yeah, seriously, Power Ranger archetype. See you guys later.